Hey everyone, it is late at night and I am Norman. Tonight we're going to be reviewing an iconic and discontinued Seiko dive watch. I borrowed this watch from a very good friend of mine. It is the SKX009. So let's review this watch. The 009. As I mentioned in the video First Impressions of this watch, I used to own a 007. That was my first mechanical watch. So this does make me feel a little nostalgic. So looking at the bracelet and the clasp here, it's cool that this has both a fold over and push button. So you have double security there. There's 3 points of micro adjustment. So it looks like it's just under a lynx width of micro adjustment. So you should be okay. Let me pop this open. Open that. Very nice. This is machined. Close that. Very solid and secure. The bracelet is also just solid, not loud. It's all brushed, even on the sides. The lugs on these pieces are not drilled. That's fine. Yeah, this bracelet is pretty impressive. Just absolutely solid. There's a lot of metal there. Looking at the case back, we have the Tsunami. Try and get that in the light there. Then we have some information around that. It's a screw down case back. Of course, this is a dive watch. Very nice. And the side profile here. We have the crown at 4 o'clock, just about, with crown guards. This is a rugged watch, that's for sure. It's heavy, just feels completely solid. And it has a screwed down crown. Let's unscrew that. There it goes. Now, the movement in here, being an SKX009, it does not wind. So you have to do the Seiko shake, which I had to do a bunch of before this video to wake it up. Hopefully it doesn't fall asleep during the video. All right, let's pop this out. It does not hack. So yeah, these have like the old school bare bones movements in them. Nice. It feels good when you're setting the time on here. There's a proper amount of resistance. This is a day-date piece, so let's see that in action. All right, it's starting to switch over. So at around 10:30. There it goes, just before midnight. So a couple hours of leeway there. Okay, and the day is starting to turn. There, now it's in between, so you can set it to English or whatever that is. And there it goes. So by around 3:30 it's done switching the day. The hands are nice and out of the way now. Let me get them even further, given how much time there is between the switching there. So you're going to want your hands way down here out of the way. In fact, we can go down there. Now let's see the day date in action. So push this in. And the date clicks over nicely. So does the day. Very cool. And we'll put these hands in their proper position. And screw this back in. It catches nicely. There we go. So the bezel on this is an aluminum bezel. You can see that it's a Pepsi style, so we have the blue and red. Let's see that in action. There is no back play at all. Yeah, none. That's pretty cool. Let's see how it lines up. Oh, there's a little bit of back play there. The alignment is okay, just slightly off there. The clicking is nice. Let's pop that up there. At the 12 o'clock, it lines up really well. And the crystal on these is totally flat, which kind of enhances the tooly, rugged look of this watch. I love the dot indices on the 007s like this. And this dial is actually dark blue. On video it looks lighter. In person it's much darker. It looks kind of like that in person from that angle. I actually kind of like the lollipop on the back end of the seconds hand there. And how the point end of it is painted white, so it's nice and easy to read. There's a bunch of lume on this, so I'm actually going to attempt to get some time lapse or sped up footage so we can watch the lume in action. Yeah, not bad at all. As for the specifications on this watch, the case size is 42 millimeters, the case height is 13 millimeters, the lug to lug is 45 millimeters, the lug width is 22 millimeters, the crystal on these is Hardlex, the movement inside this is the 7S26, and these watches have 200 meters of water resistance. So right before recording this video, I put this on the time grapher, and it wasn't doing too bad. You'll hear people say that these are bare bones, yet workhorse movements that just kind of keep going, that they aren't terribly accurate. This one was getting about minus 18 seconds a day. The amplitude was at 206. The beat error was at 0.9 milliseconds. So, not terrible. I'm not sure how long my friend has owned this watch, but if it was brand new, that 18 seconds might be a bit brutal. But after a few years, I don't know, that seems okay to me. But then again, I own a bunch of vintage watches, so I'm used to crazy, not so accurate movements. Alright, so let's see what this is like when you're wearing it on the wrist. Tonight I'm wearing my Armida watch. So let me take this off. This is my favorite dive watch that I've ever owned. So cool. And it's 36 millimeters. That's awesome. In fact, check this out. That is pretty crazy. Before I give this watch back, I should do a size comparison between the 009 and the Seiko Tuna side by side with my sports watches, like the Armida. Oh, the Armida looks like a little guy. Hilarious. Alright, let me put this on. Here is the 009 on my 7-inch wrist. My wrist is 55 millimeters wide. This thing wears really well. I mean, on its own, it looks kind of chunky, but then when you put it on the wrist, not too bad at all. I remember wearing my 007 on the beach and just feeling kind of James Bond-like. And yeah, these kind of have that summery, sporty, divey vibe about them. They're just classics. These watches are pretty cool. So iconic. And they definitely feel like they could take a beating. Just little tanks. Well, not so little, but tanks. Yeah. Very cool. There you have it. Iconic, discontinued, truly one-of-a-kind watch. The SKX009. Thanks for watching.